A condition of poverty in Indonesia has different form compared to the one in other countries. Rice, small fishes, and vegetables are always available so that life can go on without hunger. Fruits growing in the gardens are adequate, like a paradise on earth. However, as basic needs are not hard to fulfill, there are many problems undetectable by insiders themselves. Some exaggerating types of work are still done by the villagers, since it has become ordinary work performed daily for generations without further questioning its benefit. This is a fate they're receiving very sincerely. Nevertheless, now the real social change has come into their life. The Takalar district, Pontoloy village, Kasilompo is one of the traditional fishery village located in the coastal area. The life there seems to adjust to the addressing of fishery village. Among 100 families in this village, most of them are fishermen who have their own boats. The rest are fishing workers. Helping to let the boats go to the sea and pull them ashore and man net are the tasks done by the wives along with their husbands. It's the wife's task to look after the house, substituting the husband to do the task while they go to sea. In the meantime, other various tasks are waiting to be completed. The location of the village that very close to the sea is responsible for the salty water in nearly all wells in the village. Fresh water required for drinks and cooking has to be transported in the morning and afternoon, and it takes about 1 hour of each to fill up their water jugs. It is the custom in this region that the task of fetching water is the female's duty. In one transport, they can fetch at once as many as 15 liters of water. The necessity for a family per day requires about 150 liters of fresh water. In the morning, they fetch back and forth 5 times, and so do they in the afternoon. The women continue to walk with water containers on their heads. For the women born and growing up in the coastal villages, it is the common role for women, having been in practice for decades or even centuries, handed down from mothers to their daughters. The women are quite surrendering to their fate, carrying water containers. For how long does it have to last? The chance of change finally appears. The project to make a fresh water supply facility is planned by villagers, then their proposal is applied to PMD-JICA. But the project doesn't run smoothly, not as easy as expected. Here, tradition and custom proves to be a constraining factor. While the men going to the sea, the women have to be staying at home. They cannot present in the meeting as the decision makers are husbands while the wives are merely assistant to their spouses. Supplying fresh water is the women's role. Why are they absent to discuss the water issue? Why don't they wish to improve their own life? Then a woman as a field officer is recruited. Eventually, the project starts running. The women are present in the meeting. Their names are already listed in the organization to participate in managing freshwater supply project.
Saya melihat bahwa umumnya perempuan di Kabupaten Takalar itu rata-rata mempunyai keinginan untuk maju. Hanya tertumpu pada faktor pertama, faktor budaya yang sudah membiasakan bahwa perempuan itu tidak mempunyai wewenang untuk mengambil suatu keputusan dalam rumah tangga. Kedua, pada faktor pemahaman atau pengetahuan yang sangat-sangat minim.
This movement is just commencing. What change will occur in this village? What change will have happened to the women's day-to-day activity? We hope that with the experience through this project implementation, these village women will have wider choice in the future. Here we have women who inherit tradition for generation from mothers to daughters. In Bontokasi village, Patingalawan, along this area there are many lontar palm trees. The midribs of lontar palm leaves are put in water for a week to become loose fibers. Then they are woven to become handicrafts of South Sulawesi, which are marketed to Makassar, even to Java. In this village, many young men usually work in town. Accordingly, the majority of the residents are women. Lontar handicrafts makers usually take orders from sellers, and it's a business with low profit. For families having many daughters, it's an important income that can be done in the middle of housework. It's a reason why the skills of making handicrafts that have been handed down from mothers to daughters. It's a group consisting of 11 women that is formed after attending training in Bali held by PMD-JICA. Now they are aware that not all traditions and customs need secession. Some of them should be succeeded and some of them should not. For these women, the custom during their mother's time has gone. With their own capability, they start to open a curtain, face the future. There used to be just handicrafts makers who make handicrafts when they take orders from sellers. Now, they make a new group and market their products by themselves. It's one of the examples of the women who expect the duly appreciation to their skill, and they are determined on their own decision for their fate.
Kita sebagai pengrajin juga sebagai pengurus di kelompok, dan sekali-kali juga kita ke Makassar cari pemasaran. Dulunya itu sebelum kami berkelompok saya tidak pernah ke Makassar cari peluang pasar, tapi sekarang alhamdulillah sudah kita bisa menginjak Makassar.
It needs courage to change traditions and customs already practiced for decades or even centuries. Certainly, there are people who are happy with new way, but there are who are not. However, respect to the pioneer sellers like them who have supported the life of the handicraft makers. Due to their favor, mothers for generations have been able to look after and grow their children in peace. Their service is unforgettable in face of this change.
Sebenarnya begini, pertamanya saya ciptakan dulu kemudian setelah saya jadi baru saya ajarkan kepada pengrajin.
Now they start to make an effort with their skill. Trading is a business activity which gives profit as well as loss. They have to look for new markets. When they fail, loss will pile up. At present, they begin to rise and be aware of the resources they have, that is skill. At the same time, they commence to plant lontar palm trees and look after them as raw materials for their products. These faces shine happiness and self-confidence. We hope they will always remember the decision they made and the determination they choose and firmly step forward to the future. Barugaya Village, Jinamaija. Until a few months ago, there was no business activity. It was just an ordinary mountainous village. A little change has been taking place recently. For a woman, it's not easy to take a new step, especially gaining support from her husband and children. This woman perhaps is an exception, the cooperation of surrounding people, and the change occurs in a moment. The daily activity of Mrs. Ruki, the head of snacks making group, until several months ago was similar to the one of other women in neighbor villages. She got up very early, said a morning prayer, and prepared breakfast for her family. After finishing the housework, she and group members started the group's activities to make snacks and sold them in schoolyard nearby their houses. It was a study trip that 15 snacks making groups participated from 4 lab-site villages of PMD-JICA Project on last January. In the trip, Mrs. Ruki especially observed a woman of mountainous village who is not so much different from them. They were absorbed in making bipang rice cake that made from rice and palm brown sugar as raw materials and sold them to the market. The woman said she started the business 2 years before, and a year after, she could go on a pilgrimage to Mecca. It amazed Mrs. Ruki to hear the story. A woman is almost in the same age, living in a village site where almost same conditions to her, could go on a pilgrimage on her own effort. Go to Mecca. It's Mrs. Ruki's dream of kids' time almost forgotten and let go all this time. After returning home, she begins talking to her husband. Actually, he agrees, and so do the group members, and it becomes a project supported by the many husbands of group members.
Saya mendukung sekali karena di mana kegiatan ini sangat menguntungkan, di mana bisa menambah penghasilan keluarga, juga punya dampak untuk mengurangi daripada semacam kegiatan. Kalau misalnya yang dulu itu tidak punya kegiatan, sekarang kan sudah punya dan bisa menghasilkan uang.
They planned a Bipang business project and applied a proposal on purchasing help of Bipang making tool to the support system of PMD-JICA, in which 1/3 of the total amounts has to be by group self and the rest are supported. After the proposal is agreed and the tool is sent to the village. Running machine is a physical work, becoming men's role, whereas cooking and wrapping became women's roles. Provided Bipang to retail stores or markets passing through damaged road also becomes the role of men. Consumers in village say Bipang is more delicious and cheaper than the other many kinds of mass production snacks from Java. The reputation gets spread and more orders come. Everyone surely wishes to enjoy a better life. There's no exception for men. When they both work together, then the future is certainly better and can be achieved rapidly.
Karena sepulang dari Parepare, saya wawancara di situ dengan ibu pembuat Jepang, katanya ini usaha bagus dari katanya dia berusaha 2 tahun dia sudah bisa naik haji katanya. Dari situ saya timbul mungkin usaha begini saya juga bisa.
When will the time come that Ruki's family can go on a pilgrimage? She has already begun to step forward and face the future. We hope, with the support of her family, may her dream come true as soon as possible. The roles of women are various. Actually, women have also plenty of choices. Of children education, of livelihood, of way of life, and all of them determine the own and family's future. But the roles which given naturally since birth become a routine without being noticed its significance. However, in villages, there are many infinite resources and possibilities. Strengthen our steps. Look around us. Probably we can find something to make a start. Everyone has to be responsible for their own future. The start is from our spirits.